Great.
Hey, how
Hey,
you doing?
folks, we have Andrew here now available for everyone. Thanks for coming. Why don't we start off with Luke Johnson?
Hey Andrew, congrats on signing the deal to come back. What have you just in your time here in New Orleans? What have you kind of found out about yourself as a player?
Yeah, as far as my time in New Orleans, what I found out as myself is that I'm a player that can get it done, which is important early on in your career, especially in the NFL. Right, you're trying to find your footing, you're trying to figure out where you fit in the grand scheme of things. So just kind of finding my footing over the years, and then seeing what I can bring to the team, and thriving in that niche.
So what is it that you bring?
So just a tenacious player. I'm a high energy guy in the locker room. I'm a very, very good special teams player, which is something that I pride myself on, day in and day out. And I'm a guy that I'm first to the team meeting room. I'm in all the workouts. I'm at OTAs day one. So that's something that I pride myself on as far as my work ethic that allows me to perform the way that I perform on the football field.
When did you just kind of find out that special teams was going to be something you would kind of excel at, and did that take you to? Did you have to kind of learn how to be that here, or is that something you've kind of always done well?
Yeah, there was a learning there, and there's always a learning process within the grand scheme of the NFL. And a guy that I over time modeled myself after, that I had in the locker room as far as with New Orleans Saints, was a Craig Robinson, and seeing how he carried himself around the building. That's something that I try to emulate for the team in my current role, right? As I'm over time becoming more of a leader, becoming more of a vocal leader, and making plays on the field as well.
Andrew, what do you believe you bring to the linebacking core?
Yeah, so as far as at the linebacker position, that's a position that I want to make more strides in this year. I want to continue to develop. I want to show that I'm a guy that, when needed, if needed, I can be out there. They can trust me to be out there and make a play and do what is asked of me. And that's something that I want to show throughout training camp this year. I want to show throughout OTAs this year. I want to continue to develop as a player. My special teams value is what keeps me on the roster, what keeps me paid and stuff like that. But I still think that over time, no matter how long my career is, that I have some plays at linebacker in me. I want to keep developing with that, which Hodges and the group of guys that we have allows me to do.
Andrew, to that point, did seeing Caden Ellis have sort of the breakout he did after initially carving out a role on special teams, was that, did that just embolden your path even more?
Yeah, I think what Caden did, is what not every Caden's 7th round pick, I believe, right? And so that's what you want to see. You want to see a guy that gets in, on the ground level and keeps working up. And all of us in the building knew what Caden was capable of, from year 2 or year 1, right? It was just whenever that opportunity came, and he thrived within that opportunity last year. So that in itself is inspiring, as far as you don't know when that opportunity is going to come, but, in the grand scheme, it will come in this league. And just keep working and keep refining your skills and your assets to thrive when that comes.
Andrew,
what are your overall thoughts of that linebacker room right now?
Yeah, it starts with our leader and captain in Demario Davis, and you don't have a better linebacker in the league, if you're asking me, and you ask a lot of people around the NFL. So that's huge for us. And then, Pete, right, as Pete broke out, and I think it was before he kind of got injured, those first 4 or 5 games, was having, a Pro Bowl type year. And then Zach Bond, and the other pieces that we have as well. We have a solid core structure, big losing Caden, but we have a solid core structure in the linebacker room, and that's something that, I'm sure the team is looking forward to improving on throughout the draft, throughout free agency, and all things of that nature as well.
What's it like mentally going from college, where you played defensive snaps mainly, to switching to special teams more so?
Yeah, there's a transition, but it's kind of just doing what's asked of you and what you're called upon. early in college, right? I, started on special teams as a true freshman, and that's where I kind of found my footing. So, it just spans out over a different amount of years, but in college, I played as true freshman, right? Special teams. And then, as a senior, you're playing, 60, 70 snaps a game. So just kind of projecting that same, it's different, of course, but same growth throughout the NFL is something that you wish to accomplish.
So you can use special teams to prove your ability defensively also?
Yeah, can use special teams to prove my ability to tackle, to run, and make plays as well. This past year, forcing 2 fumbles in the special teams game, which was big for me just in how I carry myself as well. Even in training camp, that's something that I'm always after, is trying to get to the ball. So, whenever that opportunity comes where I am thrown out there on 3rd down or whatever the case is, I want to prove myself even more.
Thank you.
What have you learned from your time being with Demario Davis? He's a great leader, but what has he given you as a professional?
Yeah, biggest thing for Demario is just kind of how he carries himself. I sit right next to him in the meeting room. So anytime he's jotting a note down, I might be peeking over and seeing what he wrote down, and he shares things with me as well. So just Demario moving to the Mike position from when he was formerly at the Will. Demario even is taking strides in his leadership, right? And he's become even a more vocal and a more team leader, and just having him on the New Orleans Saints, from offense, defense, special teams, kicking game, is very impactful for all of us.
Hey, Andrew, Coach Hodges told me about a meeting that started up. I think it was after Pete Werner got injured. It's like an extra 30 minutes that y'all were spending with him. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and how valuable that time became? Because it seems like it was something that pervaded and continued on all throughout the season.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was something that we started doing after kind of got Pete got dinged and Caden was going to be the starter. And what really that is, it's just more time on task. You're watching the plays. You're watching 10 more plays than you were going to if you didn't have that meeting. So just getting more reps, more film. And that's, what I look for OTAs to be as well in the offseason program, getting more time on task, getting through this drill more, watching this technique more and more often. But that was big for us, as far as there was no drop off when Pete did, step off the field for a few weeks. So that was big for us in the structure of our defense as well.
And can you tell us a little bit about the relationship that you have, or that really the entire linebacking core has, as well as the sort of impact of Coach Hodges?
Yeah, Coach Hodges, he's a football guy, right? To a T, to a core, and so he's been very good for our room, and just kind of, I think it was 2 years ago, we had the Juice Boys was our mantra and stuff like that. So we always try to be a high energy group, because a lot of us, me, Zach, Ty, we do play in the special teams game. We do play in the kicking game as well. So we're able to have and bring energy to the entire team.
Have you been able to meet Coach Woods yet and talk with him?
So I did get to meet him when I was signing. I got to bump into a bunch of the coaches, that were up there. They were doing draft meetings and stuff like that. But got to say what's up to Riz, Phil, Hodges, and got to meet Joe Woods, but it was just in passing in the hallway. But kind of familiar with him, as far as his track record, as far as with the Browns and everything like that. So just kind of looking forward to working with him throughout the offseason and into the season as well.
Does anyone else have any questions for Andrew?
I guess my last question would be, what's your goal for the season?
Yeah, for team goal, right? I think it would be to get back to the top of the division. I played in the 2021 and 2022 season, right? So I personally have not played in a playoff game yet, and that's something that I would like to do, for myself, and I would like to see for our team. So kind of getting back to what Saints fans know Saints football to be, as far as in the win and loss column. So as a team, it's that. Personally, I want to continue to, I want to take a stride in being a leader in the special teams game, right? I want to be right there under, call it JT, as far as bringing along some of the other guys. In the NFL, you're a vet when you hit year 3, year 4, so any guys that they sign, any young rookies, DeMarco, all those guys, you know, helping them come along and just playing my role within the special teams lane, as well as continuing to develop as a linebacker as well.
Great. Thank you for the time today, Andrew.
Cool. Yeah, thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys when I'm back in New Orleans.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Congrats, bud.
Yeah, thank you.